So you're in an interview and the interviewer says, so tell me about yourself. Now stop, because that's a tricky question. It may seem simple and innocent, but trust me, it's a tough one. So in this video, we're gonna give you the best way to answer that question in any interview setting, whether it's in person or in video. So stay tuned, you don't wanna miss this one. What's up, job seekers? This is Tony R. Sanders, and you are watching The Happy Meter. This channel is all about helping job seekers find and do the work that they love. If you like that kind of thing, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for the video, because today we're gonna be talking about how to answer the interview question, tell me about yourself. Now, this could be a very difficult question. Number one, the reason why it's so hard is because it's so broad. It's not like they're asking you to tell them something specific. It's not like they want you to, talk about one particular experience or your time at a particular place. They're just saying, tell me about yourself. And the more life you've lived, the more experiences you have, the more things you have to pull from, the harder this question could be. So it's a tricky one. I don't want you guys to get caught up. So I'm gonna give you the 3 components that you need to use when it comes to answering these questions. These 3 things work every single time, but it does take some preparation. So I want you to be prepared for that. The good thing is this normally happens early in the interview process, right? A recruiter will use this type of question in a phone interview or a video interview or even a face-to-face, now that we're getting back to that again, just to kind of break the ice. But they are looking for a couple of things in particular. They're looking to see why you and why now. That's one question you have to answer. Why you and why now? Why are you here for this job? Why am I talking to you? Why is this the right time? Why is this the right location? Why is this the right industry? Why you, why now? That's what we're gonna be looking to answer with this. Now, when we go through our answer and our preparation, some people always ask me, well, do I tell them something personal? Do I tell them something professional? Do I do a mixture of both? My answer is both, but I think the mixture has to be 90-10. 90% professional and then 10% personal. And I'll explain why as we go deeper into this video. But remember, the 90-10 rule should be 90% professional, why you now, and then 10% personal. And even that personal part needs to be strategic. So make sure you stay to the end of the video to check that out. Now, to answer this question, you want to start with where you are currently. Give them a brief overview of your current position or your last position and what you're looking to do, why this job interests you. But keep in mind, we're just giving them an overview, right? We're gonna have a full interview where you can do a deep dive into some of these questions. You don't wanna make this a long-winded answer. We wanna try to stay between the 3 to 5 minute mark as we're sharing this answer, and we're gonna break down what those segments should look like. But you need to start with your current situation. Tell them where you currently are in your career journey. Tell them why you're looking for a new opportunity. Tell them what you hope to gain from a new opportunity such as this one. This kind of dovetails into the answer of the question they may ask you later, which is, why do you want to work here? Now, you don't want to give them the full answer again, but you want to just give them a preview. So start with your current situation. After you give them your current situation, now it's a good time to go back to your past. So you've given them where you are currently, but now let's give them a brief synopsis, a brief overview, kind of a highlight reel of how you got here. So where did you start in your career? What are some highlights along the way? What are some great learning moments that brought you to this point? In this section, you want to focus on your skills and your qualifications. Talk to them about why you deserve to be sitting in the seat that you are sitting in this interview, and talk to them about why you would be a good candidate for this job. Again, we're giving them just the top, a brief overview. We're gonna deep dive later in the interview, but this is going to qualify you so that the rest of the conversation goes well. So we wanna make sure that we are giving them our current situation, going back into the past, giving them our skills and qualifications to prove why we deserve to be here, okay? And how we got here to this point. And after that, we're gonna go into kind of our personal side of things. But what I just gave you, those first 2 tips, that's 90%. That's the 90% professional. If we're looking at 5 minutes, the first 3.5 to 4 minutes of the conversation, you wanna focus on the current and the past. You want to focus on what you plan to do while you're here today, but you also want to focus on why you would be a good person for this role. What skills and qualifications do you have that brought you up here to this point so far? Now, if you have a job interview coming up anytime soon, I want you to prepare for this conversation, because I promise you're going to get asked this question probably early in the interview, and I want you to be prepared. So I normally take an index card, just a 3x5 card, and at the top, I'm going to write current, and this is going to explain why now. That's when you talk about what you're doing currently in your role and what you hope to do in this role should you get the job. So you want to write that down and start there. Right under that on the index card, I'm going to write past, and it's going to talk about your journey, your qualifications, your skill. You could tell a little bit about your story there, but just give a brief overview. But I'm going to write that on the index card right under that. Just bullet points. We don't have to go into details, and practice telling that stories. Practice my transition from current to past. And if you're doing that and you have an interview coming up soon, drop a comment under this video. I want to hear from you. How are you preparing for your interview? What questions are you concerned with? I would love to jump in there and help you. Let's move on to the third and final stage of this conversation. The last 10%, this is where you really bring it home. This is where we can actually get personal. Now, you may be thinking, wait, 10%, I only have 60 seconds left in this conversation because you told me to keep it at 5 minutes, and you want me to tell a personal story? I do, but not just any story, okay? I don't want you to go, well, it was a rainy day on a Monday in 1987. No one really cares about that except for your mom, right? And hi, Mom, I love you. But nobody cares about that. People want to hear stories that are relevant to why you would be good for this company, why you'd be good for this job, why you'd be good for our culture, and that's where we need to go. See, before we write this portion of our statement or our story as our preparation, we want to do some research. We want to research the company, look up their core values, look up the things that they do to recognize and reward their team members. Look up some of the things that they do in the community to give back. Are they doing service projects? Do they have a fund that they give 10% of the earnings to every year? Something like that. What you're looking for is a crossover between your core values and theirs. If you could find a crossover between things that you love to do, things that are foundational to who you are, and things that are foundational to the company, if you could find those things, that 10% window is an opportunity for you to share stories, a story relevant to that. You can talk to them about the reason why I got interested in this company is because I see that you guys love to give to charity, and I've been a board member for a charity in my local community for the last 10 years. I thoroughly believe in giving back, and if I can work in a company who loves to give back and I can utilize my strengths, that's a win-win for me, and so that's why I'm here today. That's how you want to answer that last part. Now, if you do your research and you can't find any core values and you can't find any company culture, and you can't find anything fun or exciting or anything that interests you, you probably shouldn't work for that job, right? We have to be honest with ourselves up front to say, that job probably is not gonna work for me. And I understand that if you have bills and you have things going on, it's gonna be hard to kind of make that decision. But I can promise you in the long term, you'll feel rewarded, because when you find a job where you have that crossroads where your core values and their core values align, it doesn't have to be 100%. Maybe 2 out of the 5 align, or maybe 3 out of the 5 align. Who knows? Maybe it's just one, but it's one that's really important to you. But if you find that alignment and you use that in your story, that's gonna put you in a better position to work happy. And at the end of the day, that's all I want. And I don't think that's too much to ask. So listen, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and watch the next video, because if you like this one, you'll love the next one. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.